Good evening, welcome back. We're gonna see our semi-finals, our first semi-finals of the Spring Cup today, and it is TCN taking on Total Aggression. I am expecting a brilliant series, basically. We have seen both of these teams obviously before because they made it out of the quarterfinals, out of the group stages, into the semi-finals, and they have just had some brilliant performance with aggressive, active games, and that's exactly what I'm gonna expect. Also, of course, joining me is D2RO. D2RO, welcome back, and I hope you're excited for our first semi-finals here for the Spring Cup.
I'm super excited for this game, mostly because, I mean, Seed Nullus and Total Aggression, they've been so impressive in the early games in the series, and, I mean, my favorite player is in here, Frieza, best Rubik EU. Alright, maybe I'm oversaying it a little bit, but honestly, he's very, very entertaining, and I mean, the team works well together as well. One issue that Seed Nullus I can see them maybe having is that I'm pretty sure that I've seen Arise now just play Shadow Fiend exactly the same way every game that he's gone for it, so that might be an issue that Total Aggression they can try and exploit, because obviously Shadow Fiend mid is very easily ganked.
Well, it's not a Shadow Fiend mid, so there's your
Radiant team.
your fear is crushed. There you go. Invoker will be Seed Nullus's first pick. I have to say, I like the Centaur ban. I mean, we've seen quite a few Centaurs this tournament already, and it's had a big impact on most games. Well, I say that there was actually one game where he didn't have that big of an impact. There was a Race King there that had a way bigger impact, which was fun, by the way. But unfortunately, we're probably not going to see that one. But I like that ban. I also like the Lycan ban. Those two heroes seem to be having a bit of a more dominating role lately. And just strong heroes to have banned out. I wonder if that's going to be the new kind of norm that we see in these games in terms of just standard strong heroes to ban out instead of banning out against the team that you're up against.
Yeah, I mean, I'm most interested in this Invoker first pick for them, because I haven't seen Rise play it in a long time. I guess it's going to be a Quas-Wex for them. It opens up their team for a lot of different things that they can do, but Total Aggression, well, Dazzle Puck. Puck does generally win this mid lane matchup. I actually saw the stats on it last night, and it's like a 5% extra win rate for Puck, so, you know, not a foregone conclusion, but the big thing is, he just has higher base damage earlier.
I saw that stat too.
Yeah.
Where did
we all saw that stat. I'm pretty sure we saw it on Dream League. Was that on Dream League?
No, I've not been able to watch Dream League this week.
Where did I watch that? Where did I see that stat then? We both saw that stat.
Oh, was it this afternoon for the WPAs?
5 seconds.
WPCAs.
That was where it was. Yes.
Yes.
WPCAs. I watched it. I saw it on there. Okay. That said, admittedly, Puck's been winning an exponentially larger amount in China than Invoker has been.
Yeah.
Because right now, Puck in China is like the thing. You're crazy for.
The jump around thing. It's all reliant on getting that blink dagger though. But if you're up against an Invoker as a Puck, then, you know, you're going to be given that time, because Invoker is not one of those heroes that it's like, oh my god, he's level 6, he's going to kill me now. No, he's happy with just laning until he's kind of fat. Well, Puck will do the same thing if given the chance. Dazzle is a nice hero to have. Total Aggression has got a track record in terms of playing aggressive, and Dazzle does fit into that really nicely, so I like that pickup a lot. It does need to be combined up with something though, and I'm curious to see what they're going to be finding that will fit with that Dazzle. I mean, the typical kind of, you know, Slardar Dazzle era is kind of over, I believe. And I hope that they can find a good combination with that Dazzle, especially since they picked it up first, and Seed Nullus will have a chance to ban out some of the combinations that they don't want to face. They banned out the Clockwork first. I mean, both teams still need their offlane hero. Total Aggression is going to be the one to pick first after the banning phase is over, the second banning phase that is, and have therefore an edge in terms of selecting their offlane hero. If Seed Nullus is banning out another offlaner, then they might be in a bit of trouble themselves. Unless they want to put Nyx on the offlane, of course.
I was gonna say, that's the nice thing for Seed Nullus at this point. They can say, oh, we want, you know, something else for the offlane, or if they don't get it, they can still put Nyx Assassin there. We see Batrider banned out as well. So Total Aggression, they don't want the side of Seed Nullus to have too much in the way of really good initiation. The big reason why Batrider would be very powerful against them is it means that Dazzle might not always be able to get the shallow grave off on the right target, because Batrider, of course, he pulls you way out of position. If you get something like a Force Staff, even, Boots of Travel, sometimes if you even go Mask of Madness, you can get dragged so far away that the Dazzle's never going to get a chance to shallow grave you. Yep. So I think that's a pretty smart ban out for them. Both teams, I mean, their picks are fairly conservative for the moment, though, not giving a huge amount away for either of them, but Total Aggression, they're actually going to steal that Rubik from Seed Nullis. And I was going to say, I feel like Seed Nullis, they always... Heroes like that have to be in the back of their mind, because, I mean, Frieza really has been in a very impressive Rubik in the games that he's picked it up on. Yes, he did have, a ton of spells that he could steal, but he stole them all.
Yeah, I'm just amazed that apparently Being was able to get 36,000 score of the dodge ones. It sucks. Never been able to get that. Didn't even have the sun one yet. Total sidetrack.
I got like 1.3k and thought I did well.
Yeah.
I'm awful.
Awful.
Admittedly, I only played once.
Okay, that's your excuse then. Unfortunately, I have not got the same excuse. But sorry, I just totally got sidetracked there. For people that want to check that out, it is Dodge2048.com. It's stupid and it's addictive, and you probably don't want to play it because it's stupid and addictive. And there's a game on, so that's more reason for you to not wanting to play it. So I'm kind of curious to see why Total Aggression banned out the Luna. I mean, it's a strong core to ban out, fine, but it's not necessarily good in combination with anything that Seed had when they banned it out, and it's not something that I believe that Seed has played. It was Leon that played Lifestealer quite a few times, but it might be something that we're going to be seeing depending on what Total Aggression is going to be picking up. Maybe it's something that they didn't want to face because of that, but so far, I mean, they pick up the Rubik and the Axe. I'm really hoping that this is going to be an aggressive tri-lane. That's going to be fun. And by the way,
it would
no
be
Rubik
interesting
for
to
Freezer.
see that. Yeah, no Rubik for Frieza. It got stolen by Total Aggression.
Yeah.
I think it would be interesting to see how they're going to lane this. Like you said, I'm not sure why they decided to take out the Luna. Maybe it's just a hero they generally, as a team, struggle with sometimes. The good thing about Luna is that she's pretty much guaranteed to get fairly farmed. She doesn't always, scale completely out of control. It's very difficult to have a crazy fast farm on her, but it's definitely possible. I guess maybe that's the issue for them. I do love this Total Aggression Axe now. We've seen it twice now that they've decided to pick this hero up. I think in the last game, though, they really struggled to get those culling blades out.
Yeah, they did.
Kept on using culling blade,
Early.
Kept on not actually killing people. I mean, either way, though, the hero worked out brilliantly for them, and it put them in these semi-finals. Is it semi-finals or quarterfinals? I don't know.
This is semi-finals.
Whatever. Alright, it put them in the semi-finals, and, I mean, Axe is just a cool hero as well. I mean, helicopter for the win. Yeah, I think Edco played it.
They did run him on the safe lane, No, they ran him in the jungle, actually. Yeah,
they ran him in the jungle with a very interesting build. They actually went for the dual stout shield, which you normally only see if you're creep skipping, and as in, like, an off-lane aggressive tri-lane.
Yeah. By the way, that Rubik pickup on Total Aggression maybe messed up Seed Nullis a bit, because Freezer's not going to be able to play his Rubik, and they have to think of something else.
Yeah, and they probably have to try and get a sort of playmaker support. And again, we see a Morphling pickup here. I'm surprised by this for Seed Nullis. I wouldn't want to be picking up a Morphling versus Axe. The big reason I wouldn't want to be doing that is because Morphling, he relies on fighting in his Agi. And of course, if your HP pool gets knocked down even a little bit, if Axe jump on you with Berserker's Call, he can very quickly spin around a couple times and Culling Blade you. I don't know, I'm a little bit worried, especially because, I mean, they have Puck as well, that's the silence, so that stops you being able to Strength Morph if you're gone on. I'm a little bit iffy on this Morphling pickup in this game for Seed Nullis.
It's tricky, that's what it is. I mean, we saw, wasn't Axe against Morphling yesterday as well? For a Total Aggression, weren't they up against the Morphling that they continued to fail to chop?
Yeah, sorry. I had to close the window. There was a plane going by. Yeah, I mean, they were against...
That happens to me all the time. Planes passing in the streets, no problem.
Right,
The hell?
seriously, this is one of the most annoying things. There is a local guy, I don't know who it is, right? I live in, like, a fairly small, like, countryside-ish village, right?
Okay.
It looks like something on the side of a biscuit tin. And there's some douche nozzle in
With
a
a plane.
freaking biplane that flies over everybody's house where I live. And he's like 20 feet above the house. It's ridiculous. You can like see him, and I can't recognize who it is because like we live in an area where you would literally recognize him if you could see him, but I don't know who it is. And I ask people, and they're like, I don't know who this guy with the plane is, but he always flies over in his friggin' biplane and annoys everybody. No, I'm not even joking.
That's not
That's
a
actually
problem
true.
that you would have in The Hague, but oh well. Not at all. Would be interesting though. The
It's a dumb
reactions.
problem.
I had a problem last week because it was like the nuclear summit, and there were helicopters all the time during the day to protect Obama or whatever. But that's it.
5
Like that was
seconds remaining.
2 days. I didn't even notice it that much. But sorry, let's focus on the game again because we've got some bans. Of course, some solo lane heroes needed for the side of Total Aggression. They went with the Mirana with the Reaver banned out. And it looks like Total Aggression is expecting that Nyx Assassin to be an offlaner because they banned out the Enchantress, so expecting another support to come out for Seed Nullas. We're going to see if they are right, though, as Nyx Assassin could be a support as well. I wouldn't be too surprised to see it happen and maybe get a bit more tanky hero for Seed Nullas. Maybe even a Timber Saw. I mean, you have to have a hero that's quite decent against an
10
Axe.
seconds
And
remaining.
Timber Saw might not be the best because he still has to come in melee range, but it's a strength
5
hero
seconds
versus, like,
remaining.
Axe's strength
Versus
and
Timbersaw always
versus
hurts, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I think Timber
The
Saw might be
Enchantress is
decent
the
one.
safe ban though, right? Because Total Aggression, it's obvious now,
5
they're going
seconds
aggressive
remaining.
tri-lane. This Axe is probably going to go on the solo safe lane here. It is going to be the off-lane Nyx Assassin anyway, but yeah, that's the safe ban. If you're going aggressive tri-lane, which Total Aggression very obviously are, Enchantress is one of the best heroes for shutting down aggressive tri-lanes here. The Disruptor, I think, is going to be an interesting one this game, because now anybody that gets caught out of position, for instance a hero like a Puck, or an Axe even, or even Mirana, a lot of heroes actually who could be moving around a lot, they can get pulled way back for where they were 4 seconds ago versus the Disruptor and go down. I think this is going to be a very interesting laning stage though.
I think Fails will want to have a Orchid. Maybe, I mean, just for the Disruptor, because that's going to be a big factor.
He might want to think about it. I mean, Puck Orchid is kind of weak though in some ways.
I mean, he has
because
a built-in silence after all, I guess.
Yeah, he does have a built-in silence. I would say just, go standard, go for a sheep stick or something. And maybe if he's worried about getting silenced himself or being gone on, he can pick up Lincoln Sphere or even a Yule Scepter and then just, pop up into the air. That gets rid of the silence and gives you a few extra seconds as well.
Well, let's take a look at who's playing what, as it looks like TCN is at least dodging the aggressive tri-lane, but for TCN, they are playing from the Dire side for this first game. Keep in mind, it is a best of 3. These teams will be facing each other at least one more time after this game. Freezer. I mean, we talked yesterday about how we would like to see him on the Rubik, and then we didn't see him on the Rubik, but he was on an Ancient Apparition, a hero that definitely is a bit less of a playmaker than a Rubik, or at least one that you'll notice less. I think here, a Disruptor, perfect hero for him to show us some plays. We're going to see W33, one of the top 10 ranked matchmaking players in Europe. MMR players in Europe will play the Nyx Assassin. He's going to be a core hero though. He's going to go onto the top lane by himself. In the mid lane, it is Arise playing his Invoker with a nice set. I do like that set. On the off lane, we have Leon Dota playing the Morphling. He's going to get supported. Looks like he's wearing a bra of shells. That's a bit weird. And Zizou playing the Shadow Shaman on the off lane as well. It's a safe dual lane for the moment, as we do have Freezer continuing to rotate top.
Yeah, that is a really weird Morphling bra there. Anyway, on the side of Total Aggression, the safe lane farmer for the team, it is going to be Edgo. He played the Axe yesterday. He's drafted fit for himself again today on the safe lane. In the middle lane, it's going to be Phaelot up on the Puck here, going up versus Arise. This should be a fairly even matchup for both of them, but early on you would expect Phaelots to win out on last hits. And I mean, you can already see that 2-4 over Arise at this point. And the aggressive tri-lane here, Bukar, he's the farmer in this, on the Mirana. The other support for the team, it's going to be FMP on the Rubik. And where is this Dazzle gone? He's actually gone to the bottom lane here. So the Kircho, he's working with Edco here. This is a strong combination. I mean, I'm not sure if Leon is going to be able to get too farmed up on this lane here. He could struggle.
Yeah, it's going to be a fairly aggressive matchup here. I mean, Zizou is very counter-aggressive. If he gets some levels and you do dive a tower, then it could quickly turn around if he gets the right shackle off at the right time and the creep wave is not really in your favor. But if Total Aggression plays this properly, I think they can indeed just shut down that Morphling. That's the only thing they need to do here. In the meantime, on the top lane, it is Freezer who is actually having some issues. Gets lifted, gets arrowed, and might actually be our first blood. There it is. Vuka takes it home. His Mirana gets the first blood, and they don't need a tri lane for that. Just a lift into arrow is all they need.
Yeah, I mean, it's a very strong combo, even at level 2 there, and yeah, Freezer goes down. That is one of the issues that Disruptor has. I mean, it's a great playmaker hero, but it doesn't scale very well as far as HP and armor is concerned. He's very easy to kill off, and yeah, he goes down, and I feel like TCN, they've been kind of forced into these lanes here. This doesn't play to their advantage. They want to kind of safe farm for a fair amount of time, and Total Aggression, they seem to have the advantage in these lanes so far. They're definitely winning the mid lane, and well, actually, Wii isn't doing badly on the farm by any stretch, but the kill has already gone the way of Total Aggression on this top lane. So I'd put it fairly even for the moment, but Leon, he's not going to get as farmed as he'd like to be. Not if he's having to constantly last hit under tower versus an Axe, which is what's happening, because Axe has just forced the lane forward every single time, although he's disappeared into the jungle for a second now.
Yeah, getting some farm on the side, I actually kind of like it. He's not getting that much farm himself. He can harass just fine, but the farm for himself is not really there unless he actually goes into the jungle for it. Shadow Shaman might actually be in some trouble. He got the poison from the Dazzle, but Axe wasn't there in time to go for the call. And so that is not going to be anything happen. Perhaps the call is still going to be there. Morphling is going to be the target, and he is! Oh, he forming away. Nice shackle for Zizou. And that is the defensive mechanism from Zizou coming into play and making it valid that he's actually sticking on there. But you saw the damage. That was pretty damn scary. And that is the scary thing about Axe. The creep wave might be in your favor, but if Axe stands there, that creep wave is going to be not in your favor because they're going to hit the Axe. And that's going to be helicopter for Axe like tons. Another call coming out. Another heal coming out. This spins. One more hit needed on Zizou. He gets a kill. Axe with his first kill of the game, but I don't think it's going to be his last. In the meantime, the puck goes down in the middle lane. It was Freezer that helped for that one, but at least TCN gets themselves a first kill with a Rise taking the gold.
Yeah, I mean, TCN, they get themselves on the board here, but this Axe combo, I mean, they haven't killed Lion yet, but he's completely out of tangos. He's got no clarities or salves or anything else left. And Edco, he can just sit forward in this lane. He's under no pressure of dying to these two. They just simply don't have the damage to do it, especially with that Dazzle just sitting behind. And we saw the Shadow Wave damage there as well. Yep. Like you said, this Axe can just run into the creep wave, and he turns it against them, spinning around.
Oh, Courier. I don't think Freezer can get it, though. I mean, it's a flying Courier already. Even though the haste is on cooldown, Freezer is not going to try. He wants to use his Invis rune to his perfect advantage. Not sure if he can get it. He has got only Glimpse and a Thunderstrike. He needs a bit of help for it. And for that to happen, it's going to be too obvious. If he would call right now...
Oh, he blocked Edco then. Edco probably realizes he's here. He blocked him very slightly.
Where's the random call? No random call? No random call. That's a shame. That would have been so painful for Freezer. Would have been funny, but, you know, from a...
It could be dangerous for Edco, though. He isn't that tanky at this stage of the game. He's got okay armor, but he's only got
his Invis rune just disappeared.
750 HP.
It's nighttime, though. Actually, they did not see him. Now he comes in. Let's see if they can get the Dazzle here. He didn't pick up his Grave, and he gets shackled when he tries to get away. Axe trying to do what he can. The call doesn't actually hit on Leona without the Grave. Galim's back as well. The heal might still be there, but I don't think it's going to be enough. FMP, he's going to be able to help out, lifting up the Morphling. And it is gonna be a safe Dazzle. Nobody actually dies, but they keep the pain at bay. I say that, and maybe there's still gonna be some pain for Leon as there's a call, and Freezer actually goes down. Rubik gets the last hit. Morphling will live, but he has to go back to base, completely out of mana, out of life. Same thing goes for Zizou, and this might actually cost them a bit of the tower here, as Edco can clear waves like a boss, and that's gonna be leading into a push.
Yeah, I mean, this is exactly the power of the Axe. He is very strong early, those counter helixes. When multiple things hit him, he can turn into an absolute helicopter. I mean, I keep on calling it him. I just love seeing this hero in action. He just runs into them and just yells at them until they fight him. I think it's a great play style there. But Yeah, I mean, this is the problem with running this Morphling. He is quite vulnerable during the laning stage. Sure, he's got an escape, but this is a bit of a crazy TP in. He's gonna go up against Edko.
The call,
yeah.
Shadow Shaman is in trouble. The orb, the silence, and the kill. Edko gets it. Moonlight Shadow is there if they need to back off. Morphling is the one to back off first, though, and 4 heroes of Total Aggression here to take down the tower and get away without a scratch. Well, I say that Edko does look kind of scratched, but I mean, he's almost got enough gold for Blink Dagger. It's 6.5 minutes in, it's 7 minutes in rather, and when he has that Blink Dagger, well, that's a change of pace. Talking about a change of pace, that is Freezer catching out the Mirana in a kinetic field, glimpsed him back, the leap was on cooldown, and Mirana is at least a kill going the way of TCN, and with that kill actually, also W33, he got level 6 beforehand, he used Veneta for the kill, but he might actually rotate a bit more, trying to create some momentum, and most importantly, it's coming back again, trying to create space. As Leon is in some trouble there, but he is forced back again. But he's, like, Leon is basically going to the lane, getting, like, very low, and then having to go back to base to heal up, and then going to the lane again, getting low again, having to go to the base again. It's kind of painful. He actually picked up a bottle because of that.
Yeah, he's been completely forced to go for this bottle. It's not a bad item on Morphling by any stretch anyway, because obviously if you morph higher agility, then that means that when you use the bottle, it's more cost effective as far as, you know, bringing back mana and HP. But, I mean, the difficult thing is, like you said, he could be very easily just forced to go back to base. I mean, look at his HP and mana now. He pretty much has to as soon as he's finished off these waves. That said, Total Aggression, it looks like they're just going to... Actually, no, Axe is going to TP to the bottom lane, so he's going to try and finish off his Blink Dagger before moving around the map and trying for kills, but everybody else, they can certainly go for those combo plays, and the thing for TCN is they want to play this at a slightly slower pace right now, and they're not strong enough to go in 5-man and defend towers, and the thing is Total Aggression, they sort of get towers as an afterthought, right? They got that tower at 6 minutes on the bottom lane.
Yep.
It's not like they had great tower push, they had a Dazzle. That's it. They don't have, you know, a Chen or a Enigma, anything like that. They just did that with the power of, with the power of Axe and his spins, and he's almost got this in, and we actually gonna try and chase him down here, but
I don't think he can.
I feel like he's not got... No, he can't do it on his own.
He's
waiting for this Axe to move slightly out of position so somebody else can help, but I think the jig is up, so Zizu's been seen.
Yeah, there's still a lot of people around there though, but the Moonlight Shadow will keep Axe safe, and basically gank failed. Edko is gonna live, and that means that his Blink Dagger is gonna be there, and just 60 gold to go, as the Moonlight Shadow might be enough for a Rise to be gone upon. EMP will not hit anybody this time. Or did it still hit on Field? No, he was already this low, so... At least Arise, I mean, Arise is getting to the point where he is going to be having a bigger impact. He now has phase drums ready. We haven't seen that much of him yet. I mean, that's the thing about an Invoker. He is able to do okay on the lane, but he needs a lot of time, as maybe now he can make it worth it. Impale hits, but in comes a Silence and a Dream Coil. FMP lifts up the Nyx Assassin, who still has a Spike Carapace, gets it out as well. An arrow actually flies, will not hit on anybody though, but nobody dies, which is of course what TCN was going for. They were going for the kill, at least on a support Rubik. They lose a hero, rather. They lose the Disruptors. Dazzle gets out alive, teleporting under the effect.
Leon is going to try and go for this kill, but Edgo is pretty tanky, and he doesn't have any help in here. Maybe if Freezer was closer to it, but if Freezer had already died at that point, so...
I'm not
yeah,
sure
Edko, he just gets out free.
Level 1,
It's pretty close, probably not.
He's gonna try. Impale will hit. There might be a no. There's no mana burn. In comes Twirls, and then that's the point where you start being scary, right? And he's just oh my god, he's just gonna go for him.
What a man!
Oh, is he gonna get lucky though? He needs to have another swirl. The lift is there. The Rubik comes to help out, and jump, you're dead. Dominating Edko. That's why Axe is so damn scary, and that's why you don't chase down an Axe. That is not a smart plan.
Yeah, don't dive an Axe. It's gonna go badly for you. If he gets any help in that situation, I mean, he was well behind. He's practically out of mana, very low on health. The Nyx Assassin comes in, and yeah, that's exactly what happens. If you drop low enough versus an Axe, he'll Culling Blade you, and if multiple people do it, he'll go on everybody. But actually, again on the top lane, they're going to go for Buakai here. Pulled out of position by the Glimpse, and yeah, there's not much he can do. Arise
rotates to the top lane, gets a kill. I mean, I was talking about maybe Invoker not having a very big impact yet either. But neither did Mirana have a big impact, apart from her Moonlight Shadow, which has been nice. And of course that first blood that they got was great. But other than that, she's been on the lane, she's been farming. She is kind of the maybe insurance policy for their team. A bit of a late game carry, even though she's of course nothing compared to the Morphling. But she is feeling the pressure of getting some farm as the blink in from Edko is there. They want to go for a rise. The silence is there as well. Can they take him down? There's not enough damage to do straight away to get the chop in. And that's going to mean that it's going to be backing off time for Total Aggression. And maybe even Fails is going to go down. Oh, Axe, he jumps back in. Doesn't get the call, or doesn't get the call. And therefore will be forced back again. The Sentry Ward, he's going to get put back into the range of the Sentry Ward. And that should be Edko's end. Impale comes out. Waveform over the top. Dazzle not there in time. Has to put the grave on himself as Mirana is already dead again. Fateful still coming through. Maybe they can turn this around. Dazzle still dead. Buyback actually from the Axe, and he's teleporting in. He wants to be here again. He's gonna blink in, but he's not gonna be close enough to do anything. Or is he? He gets all three with the call. What am I talking about? Chops one, chops two. Where's the third? Needs to have the silence off, and he is still in the silence. He can't catch up with Freezer. The glimpse on Fails is there. No right click coming out, but the blink, and that's going third chop. That's a triple kill right there. Worthy buyback for Mr. X right there for sure, especially if they get the tower off the back of that as well. Oh my god.
That was a buyback and a half, and as soon as he brought back into that fight, I was worrying about TCN. They were trying to get out. The fight had gone well for them, as earlier, Edko, he jumped in, he hadn't managed to get the right Berserker's Call on. He's actually maxed this Berserker's Call. He just wants to be able to initiate and spin around. I said this about him yesterday. He doesn't go for many levels in the way of Battle Hunger. I mean, he's mostly using it for the movement speed slow and the bonus movement speed it gives him, but these initiations from Axe, and then he turns around, Culling Blades 3 in that fight. What a turnaround for Total Aggression, because they were losing that fight pretty hard early on.
It was, I mean, that was a loss for Total Aggression when Axe died. And the only way that they won that fight in the end was Axe buying back and just getting a triple kill out of that one. That was just insane. Nice try to save by Disruptor. I mean, you could see him really try, and he almost made it out, but that Axe is just too strong with that blink tag already off cooldown jumping afterwards. And now they're back to farming.
He might go on Wii again. I guess he's just going to farm. He doesn't know Wii is here. Wii is just hiding. I mean, look at the way that TCN is just positioning themselves here. They're playing this very safe at this stage. They've just been burnt pretty hard.
Oh, teleport's coming in. They really want to try and take down the Axe. Lion is here as well. In comes an arrow, though. Actually hits on the Lion. Axe shackled. We're still twirling. Does a lot of damage. Does not get the kill, though, and goes down himself. Dead for a long time now. In comes a jump. Silence. Dream Girl up on 3. 1 is already dead. 2 dead now. That's 3. 1 more to go. And that is another 4 dead on the side of TCN. Freezer, the only one left alive. We'll try to run back to base, but oh my god, maybe Axe died, but that was a very, very big price to pay, and Fails is actually not done just yet. I don't think he can get Freezer,
Freezer
though.
Can get rid of him. Freezer can just glimpse him back if he needs to. He's never going to get him. He's just messing with him at this point.
Oh, no, jumping in silence. Glimpse is not there. He wasn't up. Oh.
What? Alright. Freezer's gone from, like, the best player to the worst player.
No, he lived.
No, he's not done that badly, but he could have glimpsed him the whole time just to be safe. I mean, he ends up being forced to use Static Storm, which, admittedly, I said this before, you can use Static Storm whenever you like. It's only on an 85-second cooldown. It's not a Ravage or anything, but the AoE initiations from Total Aggression in this game are proving to be absolutely crucial. Fail it, as well as Edko. I mean, if one is down, the other is initiating for the team and doing a ton of damage. They're going to go on Edko on the bottom lane here. This could turn around, though, although, yeah, he's looking to be pretty dead.
Oh, wow. Sorry. I was looking at the chat. The chat was enjoying the Axe moment. So
I enjoyed the Axe moment.
I enjoyed the Axe moment.
He just goes down there. They picked up the blink. Oh, no, they didn't pick up the blink on Zizu. I guess Zizu just walked up to him then. Hexed him up, and with the wards, they were both out of range of the Axe as well, so he wasn't able to just spin around and kill him, and they had enough disable to just finish him off. Arise even blew EMP Tornado just to be sure, even though Axe was on about 200 HP.
Fails, jumps in on 2, Dreamcoil on 2, 1 dead, 2 dead. That's gonna be a Starstorm. Mirana gets a kill. In comes Tornado, though. Tries to take down at least Mirana, but Arise, he is kind of by himself right now. He will get that kill. Now is forced to back off. Hacks up. Zizu coming in. Shackle on failed. This should be another kill. 2 for 2. It's gonna be very much in favor of TCN. And basically, well, I guess I can call Nyx a bit of a support, but it's 2 cores for support and something Nixie.
Something Nixie. I mean, yeah, this game, the Nyx, he's not exactly huge on the net worth right now. He's behind Zizou, in fact, who was definitely a hard support this game. And again, Axe just jumps in.
Have you seen Axe's face when he actually jumps in and calls? He actually puts his mouth open.
Just like yells at them, right?
Yeah, but without sound. It looks a bit stupid. I hadn't seen that yet. He is actually going to get picked off here. Nice play by TCN, and they might be getting that Rubik as well. However, the Moonlight Shadow is going to be enough to keep him safe, and they're actually going to back off. This time not overextending, happy with the kills they got. And they definitely should be happy with the kills they got, because that is a turnaround, and that keeps Total Aggression at bay for a little while.
It keeps them at bay, but I mean, the thing is right now is Total Aggression, their early aggression, I mean, it's given them great map control. They've got a ward here and up on the top lane as well, well, in their jungle, and this is giving them that extra bit of map control, and it's allowing the Puck and the Axe to jump in, where in a situation where TCN, they think they might be safe, because these wards can both see perhaps supports that are behind the creep wave. If the creep wave is up here, you know, someone's last hitting, they can see, you know, who's behind, is it anyone who can counter-initiate, but that said, TCN, they don't get a bad trade in the last couple of fights. Still though, I'm worried for them, because right now, this Morphling, he's not getting very much at all. It's 17 and a half minutes in, he's got some treads, and they're going to need him, because the later things go, unless he's got no farm, if he keeps on having no farm, Mirana will outcarry him.
Oh, Tornado EMP, they want to go on Echo here, smoke used for that, and he's already hexed up, no mana, ward trapped, killed off. Still at least FMP stole Ether Shock. Oh, but in comes Freezer. They don't get him locked inside the Static Storm and Kinetic Field, but they do force them back, and they actually glimpse back Puck to where he came from, aka middle lane, where he's going to be finding the Morphling actually, and forced away from that place as well. Looks like he's going to still chase, but in comes W. 3-3, and that should be a kill going the way of the Morphling. That glimpse was a very worthy one, not only stopping the initiation on the bottom lane, but also giving Morphling a kill on the middle lane. Nicely played by Frieza.
Yeah, it saves them from getting counter-initiated on and gets them an extra kill. Nice played by Frieza here, but even so, they're still doing something. Buakar, he was split pushing up on the top lane, nobody's able to deal with him. Arise just misses his tornado, but yeah, I mean, the thing is though, is Total Aggression, they've still got all this map control. They don't even manage to push down this tier 1 tower on the bottom lane, and they did drop their wards down in the area. They just weren't in range, and they didn't have the sustainability to stay there, because Morphling, he takes so much damage at this stage, and so does everybody else. Arise even had to TP top just to try and take out Buakar.
Yeah, and they used actually 2 TPs to try and get that, but still had the tower taken down. I mean, it was a deny nonetheless, but tower down creates more space, because that Mirana, she's going to be able to split push at some point. And so those tier 2 towers down are going to mean a lot. They might not have that much pushing power of their own. Moonlight Shadow used for the bottom lane to get FMP away. Looks like it's successful. But it looks like the aggression from Total Aggression is not getting that much credit anymore. As in, they're not getting the best out of it anymore. They kind of have had their moment, and it feels like this is what they got off it. Now we're in a bit of a standoff, and whoever starts losing fights from this moment on is going to lose the game. Or vice versa, whoever is going to start winning fights from this moment on is going to win the game. But it feels like we're at a bit of a crossroads here.
Yeah, I think the key thing is that Axe, he'd got his Blink Dagger early, that's great. He'd not progressed onto a second item. He's just picked up a Blade Mail at this point, which is a very effective item on Axe. That said, it's not always the best. The thing about Blade Mail on Axe is that you jump in, you Berserker's Call, and you get bonus 40 armor from that. So having all that armor and blade mailing at the same time, it doesn't do too much. But actually, Smoke Gank here, they're going to catch out Kircho.
Yeah, Arrow still hits up on the rise, but I mean, if you're going to have a 3-man Smoke Gank, well, which they just pop out straight away. Not worried about wards, apparently. But at least they get a Dazzle, not something like an X or Mirana or Puck, as they might actually still get Mirana with this one. Buka, is he going to teleport out? The Tornado will see him, and actually still picks him up, but the leap, he still has it. He tried to teleport out, but gets a cold snap because the vision was still there. He's hiding, though. Morphling jumping in. They see him. They kill him. That's going to be a nice pick-off, and a lot of time used, of course, for that for TCN. But worth it if they get the tier 1 tower off the back of it. So far they're quite behind on towers, and they could definitely use a bit of extra gold on their, especially on their supports.
Frieza's just going to manage to get out of there. He just dropped the Static Storm on top of Phalix and TP'd out in the middle of it, knowing that there's nothing he can do. But yeah, I mean, TCN, they get a nice pick off there. They group up, they take a tower. I mean, they were behind, but they're playing this well at this stage. And they do have the most farmed hero on the map at this point, which is Arise. He's going for an Orchid as well. He's already got a 4-staff, so he's very mobile in the fight. He'll be able to try and shut down the puck as well, and this is a smart decision. They just took out the Mirana. She's not going to be here in time to stop this, because the wards help them take out the Roshan very fast here.
Yeah.
That said, Phalix is here. They might try for a steal.
Yeah, Moonlight Shadow. Whoa, that was an illusion. Nicely spotted out and nicely baited out as well. As they're not done just yet. They get the vision on the Nyx Assassin. They don't get the vision on the Roche though. And all Arise needs to do is slow them down, burning all their mana away. He definitely succeeded in that one. Or did he now? That is a Radiant Roshan kill. Aegis is snatched up by the Morphling though. Deafening Blast coming through as well. But Axe is jumping away. Already gets two. Gets the Aegis from the Morphling with that as well as Invoker goes down. Buys back. Puck will drop by the Morphling who just got back up alive from that Aegis. Cold Snap coming out. FMP. Gonna be trying to run from Invoker. I don't think he can though. Oh, he was so close. Arrow hits, but no follow-up. That was so close to save that Rubik, but not in time to make that actually happen. But in the end, there is no Aegis for TCN. There is Roshan Gold for Total Aggression. And that is actually a worthy fight for Total Aggression.
Yeah, good fight for Total Aggression. The issue is, though, their lineup, it falls off, and it falls off pretty hard. Mirana, not a great late game carry. She's having to go for a BKB this game because Arise is doing absolute work for them in that team fight. He almost, I think they thought, you know, as soon as he got the Tornado EMP on the puck, and I believe the Dazzle at the same time, just outside of the pit, I think at that point they thought, okay, we've managed to get this Roshan, they're not going to be able to steal it. They do jump in the Axe, they take out the Roshan, they don't manage to pick it up. The Axe was controlled in the pit. He was right on top of them, on top of the Aegis as well. But yeah, I'm slightly worried for Total Aggression because, like I said, their lineup, it falls off as far as damage is concerned. But that said, at the moment, they're still working with all of their AoE. So there's a lot that they can do. And this Axe, he's going to go for an Aghanim Scepter, make that Culling Blade even more effective. I mean, he does not hold back on the Culling Blades, right? He just throws it every time he thinks he has a chance. And so far, it seems to be working this game.
They find Bukad, double impale coming out, but already did Axe jump in. He missed actually one Quelling Blade. That's a long cooldown to have as Morphling. He popped his Ethereal Blade, but mana. He will get picked off. No mana for him. 3 for 0 in the end, even though the initiation came from TCN. They wanted to go for the Mirana, don't get him. And that is actually a pretty big loss from Total Aggression. And good for loss for TCN, but good for Total Aggression. Everybody was around. That the Axe was there to jump in. I think though, if that Axe, well, everybody died still. I mean, Axe could have gotten some more kills for himself if he didn't mess up the Quelling Blade. Culling Blade.
Yeah, he could have maybe got some more kills for himself, but in the end, they still counter-initiate, take out the 3, and I feel like the problem there is the TCN, they just didn't have everybody there. Specifically, they didn't have the Invoker. He's a huge part of their team fight right now. Same goes for the Disruptor. They both just left those two behind to do something else, and the fact is that Total Aggression right now, they have 2 very mobile heroes on their team. They walk in, and then suddenly Axe jumps on top of them. He calls, I'm not sure he got all 3, maybe he got 2, but he called at least 2 in that fight, and at that point, they've lost the fight already. There's nothing they can do. Whether Edco misses his call or not, misses his Culling Blade or not, he's still going to chop them all down.
Yeah, and what do you think about Morphling rushing an Ethereal Blade? Even though they were behind for most part of this game, I think it's a good call.
I'm not sure it is, to be honest. One of the things with Ethereal Blade is that you're trying to burst down a specific target. At this stage, he might not be strong enough to completely kill somebody off. And Total Aggression, they have a mech up on the Dazzle. And they have a Dazzle. It's a great hero for stopping that. So, I don't know, I'd be slightly worried about it. That said, if they do initiate the fight on their own terms, if Nyx Assassin can get in there with a good Impale, then perhaps it'll end up be worth it. But again, Zizou caught out.
Edco keeps missing the Culling Blades. Still, Shadow Shaman goes down, but the Connect Field Sonic Storm locks in 2, including Edco, who will be able to get away from that, as Fails is actually stuck in the trees. Burka stuck in the trees now as well. At least the trees are being killed off. Talking about being killed off, this Morphling, well, they have some damage in the form of Murano, who, by the way, has got her 10-second BKB popped, so that definitely helped in the fight. Fails, still looking for the Nyx, gets Cold Snap, and gets out again with the Orb. 2 for 0, and that is another time where Morphling is dead. Tornado EMP. And yeah, no mana.
Just trying to defend their towers at this point. They aren't going to get a kill, but actually Edko is going to turn it around.
Rise is now picked up. Freezer. I don't think he's going to live very long. He's going to try to teleport out, but they can just stop him. They have got actually nothing. Never mind. They didn't have anything. No call. The lift was maybe there.
Rubik didn't manage to get in range for the telekinesis, and otherwise they had that, but he wasn't able to get there, and Axe just ran the wrong way.
Cleaning up. Already got the next assassin. Is not going to go for Zizu, who, by the way, has got a blink dagger, which we already saw in action, but I still wanted to just point it out. But Total Aggression, I feel like they're back. For a moment there in the game, I thought, you know what, they're losing their flow, but they got it back. And part of the reason is that TCN keeps answering their fights. They don't need to answer their fights. They can just focus on a bit more farm on the Morphling, perhaps, but no, they answer. And not with all 5 of them all the time. Someone is always seemingly missing or too late or something like that.
Yeah, TCN, they're not getting to the fights all as 5. And like you said, they're going into these fights too early. I mean, the big thing for their team is that they're working with the Quaswex Invoker, which is a great turtle hero. He can throw out the Tornado EMP. Even if it just catches a couple of people on the side of Total Aggression, they're not going to be able to boost up the mana of everybody, you know? So I think that would be the best way of doing it. They can at the very least slow down those pushes. If they catch the Dazzle in particular, he won't be able to Shadow Wave, and he's really their only actual push hero.
He is. A lot of the teleports coming out for the top lane. I say a lot. There was actually 4 people now top to defend the tower. They clean out the Shadow Shaman wards, so we're gonna get easier and easier to clean up. But he's not going for an Aghanims. But they really are pretty prone on defending their towers. I don't blame them. They just want to try and make sure that TCN is not getting any extra gold. We saw in the previous game the ward coverage for Power Rangers. Well, if we look at Total Aggression's ward coverage right now, they do about the same thing, just one stage earlier, having a bit of coverage in the middle lane and in the dire jungle, already trying to take control over the majority of the map. It feels like they did lose control of their own jungle. And TCN is going to try to abuse that fact, but they are going to get forced back mid very soon, because it looks like Total Aggression is going to be planning something, not pushing mid, but sitting all 5 together. They do have a smoke in the inventory of the Rubik. Perhaps that's what they want to go for. Yeah, that is what they want to go for. And now with an Aghanims on the Axe. We'll see.
I mean, now that they have the Aghanims on the Axe, maybe Edko, he'll be hitting a few more of these Culling Blades. And the thing is, even if he misses, it doesn't even matter. 6-second cooldown on Culling Blade. If you use it and it kills somebody, no cooldown whatsoever. So, this is very dangerous. If people on TCN start dropping low, Axe is going to turn around, and we saw it earlier, just start chopping everybody.
Yeah, Arise still got the EMP out. Didn't hit Edko with that though, as the arrow will fly, did not hit anything. Maybe Edko in some trouble now, as the tower is still hitting and making this cool snap proc, but no kills. And that's actually it. They wanted to try and go for a surprise attack. They don't want to go for a siege, so they go back to farming, to defending their tier 1 top lane. Actually, Edko jumping forward, trying to find the Morphling, but Morphling is already teleporting out. And actually with that fight, Invoker has his Orchid done. That's going to be a big deal.
Yeah, that's a big item for him to get up in this game, particularly versus the Puck. The Puck, though, however, he does have the Yule Scepter at this point, but if they manage to burn out enough of his mana with the EMP, then perhaps he won't be able to use it. It's a very difficult situation either way, and Arise, he actually walked into the creeps there, so if Total Aggression are on their toes as far as looking on the map, they will know that Arise is running around in Ghost Scepter, or in Ghost form, sorry, in Ghost Warp form, and just trying to look for a gank, and yeah, they're going to try and flank them now. Total Aggression, they're pushing up on this top lane,
they
but
use Moonlight
they have
Shadow
the
though, they know
ult.
what's coming.
Yeah, and they have the weave on them as well, they know exactly what's coming.
They back off.
Yeah, and that's just this ward. This ward is perfectly positioned, I mean, it spots off just as TCN group up, and they end up wasting a smoke. They know exactly what's happened as well. They're just going to last hitting and stuff now.
And to be honest, like regardless, isn't it an interesting idea? Like they smoke like right around here. Why would you do that if there's normally this is a bit of a ward place and they didn't check?
Yeah, I mean, I guess they're just assuming that Total Aggression aren't that great with the ward coverage or something? I don't know, maybe they're looking at the inventories and not seeing the wards coming out. Total Aggression, their supports have spent a fair amount of items just for themselves. They've got a mech on the Dazzle and a Rubik. He's got Force and Blink now, so he should be perfectly capable of stealing any spells he wants to. I think the big ones for him to get are Mass Serpent wards, as well as the Static Storm in this game. Static Storm, pretty useful with Axe.
Yeah, and
you
I mean,
can
not
cool a
just
few
the
people,
ults,
you can just crush them.
kinetic field, stopping the movement around from some of the people, and most importantly Invoker, of course. A Hex, silence up that Invoker with that. There are so many important spells that you could steal here that it's pretty scary. As we've got ourselves the smoke up for Total Aggression again, sitting inside that dire jungle, but nobody is coming for the moment. Feels like they're playing a bit of cat and mouse game and are trying to both not be the mouse.
Yeah, and I think that plays best to TCN style at this point. They are behind on the farm. They have the late game, but they're not managing to get to it here. It looks like we and Zizou are going to get caught out, though.
Oh, call didn't hit, though. Blink away from W33. Gets in time. Where's the vision? Where's the detection? They don't have detection? They have a gem on the Dazzle, but it's too late. Or is it?
Dazzle's just too far away, and
now he is.
We is way out of there now.
Dazzle needs a blink dagger. Ooh, and that's in Scythe of Ice ready for Faileds.
That's a very big item for him to get up. I mean, we were just talking about how the Invoker picking up an Orchid, that's great for him, but Faileds, he has the advantage, he can jump in, he has more items that allow him to do things at this stage. And it's going to be dangerous, but they're going for Edco here on the bottom lane. Oh, he just managed to blink out.
And get some teleport back up as well, just in case they want to try and turn this around. Moonlight Shadow coming out as well. Let's see if they can catch anybody. I don't think they can, but they are going to try, actually. They find themselves Leon, the only one that wasn't backing up with his team. He's going to get picked up. The rest of his team, of course, already running for the hills because they don't want to be having the same fate. I mean, right now, with that Orchid, if Arias can get the Orchid off on the Puck can still Hex Arise, and there's nothing, like, they can just stare at each other for a little while, right? It's...
Well, even worse, Puck can just use a Yule Scepter, come back down, Hex, and then kill him.
Yeah. It's... I'm not convinced now that Arise got the most out of the Orchid. Perhaps he should have had it earlier.
It just turned up a bit too late, I think.
Yeah. If he had it so late, then he probably should have gone for a Scythe of Ice instead, as Roshan is going to get attempted by Total Aggression. I say attempted, but there's no competition for it because TCN, they know they cannot fight this.
Yeah, and the reason they're able to go for Roshan, they're able to go for these objectives, is right now, TCN, they lost their only split push hero. They lost the Morphling. That's the person to get picked off. Not only is it their carry hero, so it hurts them in that way, but it's the only person on their team who can actually split push and get out of there. The Shadow Shaman, to an extent, can try and split push, but it's not exactly easy for him. He is doing it at the moment, but he's not as fast as split pusher, and he's not getting as much out of it either.
No, he got the tier on top earlier.
Yeah, he gets... I mean, he's not as cost-effective with items, though.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Do you know what I mean? He doesn't scale anywhere near as well. He does scale pretty well.
I just find it funny that
it's
they
not
actually...
like he's going to get anything.
They actually use him as a split pusher. It's kind of funny that it has come to this, basically. But with the next set of wards, he should be able to get a tower here on the bottom lane. He just has to make sure that he is there.
But it doesn't matter. Total Aggression are going for the enemy base. They have the Aegis up on Axe. Why not?
There was a bit of a, apparently, discussion by TCN. Shadow Shaman is going to save his wards for a fight that might be coming. We're all waiting for someone to jump in first. And if you jump in first, you better make damn sure that your jump in is going to be the better one, because it might just be your last, especially if it comes from TCN, and if they mess it up, well, they're going to be okay by the looks of it. Glimpse back actually doesn't do anything because he was at the same location. Freezer actually gets picked up straight away. Zizou lands his wards, fails, getting saved by the grave for the moment. Can he get away? Actually, Dream Coil still gets that one out. Might still die afterwards. Phase shift keeps him up for a little while longer. We already have 2 down. Looks like we're going to have 3 down. 4 actually with a buyback on the Shadow Shaman, and failed. He lives. He lives and actually is very, very healthy. Still, the GG comes out. This was only game 1 though. We're gonna see game 2 between these two teams, and I have to say, this game delivered.
Dunked. That is exactly what happened to TCN in this game.
Yes.
Total Aggression, I mean, they just got the better initiations and they did a lot more with it. And TCN, I really do feel like the Morphling, it was a surprise pickup. I don't feel like it was the best pickup by Nation. It was useful as far as split pushing, but that hero doesn't do very much. Even with an E-Blade early, he's only 4, 6, and 3. Very little involvement as far as actually killing people, and you know, it's not like he has a plethora of disables to help out with.
Exactly. Well, we're going to see if TCN can force out a 3rd game, or if TA is going to have a perfect record and take on TCN in a 2-0, securing their place in the grand finals tomorrow. Stick around, we'll be right back with game 2 of this best of 3 series for the semifinals for the Spring Cup. Don't go anywhere.